So hello people, my name is Aramide and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about budding, which is the first stage of the locking process. So budding stage is also known as the sprouting stage, and sprouting as a word is usually associated with planting. So what it literally means is that what sprouting literally mean is that it is the stage at which a seed that is planted in the soil starts to bring out its first stem. The thing that eventually forms the stem usually appears white, then it brings out the leaf, which is like a very light color green. So after which this plant starts to germinate and form the leaves that will eventually mature before the seed is formed at the maturity stage, after which then it can be harvested. So when we are talking about budding in lock, we are talking about the first stage of the locking process. So if you are interested in this stage of the locking process, get yourself comfortable and let's dive straight into it. So when your hair bud, it means that your hair is beginning to tangle from the inside of the strand of twist that you started with, or the braid. And when your hair begins to bud, it means that your hair is beginning to intertwine from the inside, and this is what forms the structure of your lock. It is in this structure of the lock that the shed hair is caught, and it is the shed hair that intertwine with the hair that is tangling up inside of the lock that is forming. Normally, if you had your hair loose and you comb it every day you comb your hair falls off and you can see it on your comb. This hair that are falling off could be due to the shedding hair or breakage. So in this case, instead of a hair to be falling off, it stay on the lock, on the strand of your lock, and begin to intertwine, and it eventually leads to thickening of your lock. And this thickening could happen towards the tip of your lock, or towards at the middle, or towards the root. So I'm going to show you example on my own lock. So here I have essentially the same with all the other strand of the lock. It could be different. I have a couple of others that are not similar to that. So let me see if I can get another one. It's not obvious here, but this seems to be setting in along this length of my hair, along this length of the hair, not at the top. At this budding stage is where you see a lot of frizz on your lock and a lot of puff. So this stage is generally known as the ugly stage, and believe me, whether you believe it or not, whether you accept it or not, it is actually ugly. But one thing I have noticed in this stage is that the texture of your hair plays a big role, the length of your hair plays a big role, and the hair maintenance that you have installed also play a big role. If you have a softer texture of hair, the frizz tends to be more and the bud tends to be obvious. Also, the size of the lock you have will also make the budding stage to be obvious. And if the texture of your hair is soft, then the budding stage could be more obvious to you or any other person, because softer hair tends to freeze more. That is another thing. Is if you don't maintain it properly, it tends to freeze more. It tends to freeze more, and it's puff more. So it's definitely going to be different from hair texture that is kinky and thicker. Like mine. Number one, in my own case, the size of my lock is not so big. Lock is not so big, it's small. And look at it's small, and because the size is not so big, I am not actually seeing the puffing and the freeze. The fridge is there quite all right from day one. It is there, but the puffing that actually indicate the body stage is not much on all the hair. It's not showing on all the strand of my lock. So another thing is the maintenance routine that you have installed. If it is poor, then the budding stage is going to be so obvious to the eye without using magnifying glasses. So in my own case, what I do is that I don't really manipulate my hair. What I can say I do is I just kind of pass my hand through my hair every now and then, and that is all. And when I'm going to sleep at night, I use silk scarf. I don't have bonnet. I use silk scarf to cover my hair. Then in the morning, it depends on what I have going on, what I need to do, whether I'm going out early or not. My scarf stays on as long as possible. So if your hair maintenance is poor, then body will tend to set in faster, and then the rate at which it's setting depends on all that I have mentioned, and the rate at which you stay at this stage also depend on all these characteristics. Another thing is that this stage of your lock process could range between 6 months to 12 months, after which you can now proceed to the next stage of your lock journey, which are baby lock stage, teenage lock stage, and the matured lock stage. These are the stages of budding. So it is expected that before you started your lock, you must have made some findings, done some research on your lock and your hair, so you will know the type of hair you have, the texture of your hair. And budding stage is something that you should have been expecting and waiting for, actually, because the whole purpose of starting your lock journey is to lock your hair, and when this stage comes up, it means that your hair is locking. So the budding stage is completely normal. It is necessary, and it is what you have been waiting for. So when it comes in, then you are prepared. There are different things you can do to minimize how bad this thing occur. Minimize. You can't avoid it. You can minimize it, and that is the maintenance that you put in place. Regularly washed, covered when you're lying down, use silk scarf and some other things. Then the budding stage will not be that ugly as some people believe it to be. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel for more on locks, and click on the notification bell for you to be notified when I upload more videos.